What is a land contract? And that's the question we're going to be answering today on the drive home. A land contract, or real estate contract as it's properly known, is basically a contract that the seller and the buyer of a piece of property or real estate sign, and it's basically just an agreement of, payments to be made on the land. And then, after, so many days or so many months of, whatever payment, the property gets transferred over to the new owner. Now, first of all, why would you want to do this kind of thing? And there are 4 reasons. Well, I'm going to give you 4 reasons. You may have your own reasons. But number 1 reason is you just don't want to get a bank involved. Period. Just, for whatever reason, no banks. Second reason is there are a lot of banks out there that won't touch bare land. And if you're going to be going off-grid, you're going to start from scratch, you're going to build your own cabin, just start your life new and be more self-sufficient, you're most likely going to be looking for bare land, and there are a lot of banks out there that just won't touch it. Second reason, or maybe third reason, the banks that will touch them, that will actually, provide a mortgage loan, they want, a lot of them want up to 50% down. And, if you have 50% down on a piece of property, you might, instead of buying that particular piece of property, you might look for something that's, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe, half the price, so you can just pay cash and be done with it. So, there's that reason. And the final reason is for, one reason or another, you just don't have good enough credit. Something bad happened or whatever, and, the banks won't give you a loan for that. But, the seller of the property trusts you enough that will go ahead and just give you the contract. Now, there's 3 basic ways that they're laid out that I've seen, that I've heard about. The first one is probably the least desirable in my opinion. Basically lay out a set monthly payment, for, we'll say, $600 a month. And this one's typically, if there's already a building on there, you're actually going to be living there, and there'll still be upkeep that the property owner or the landlord will need to, keep up on while you're there. And what will be set up as is, say, $600, half of it will go to actual rent, so that, the owner of the property, the landlord, can still maintain it, when needed. Water heater goes out, they're still making money, be able to do these repairs. And then the other half will go to the actual purchase of the property. Now, if that works out for you, that's fine, that's great, that's awesome. You get to live in a place, make the payments, and slowly, purchase it. I personally don't like it because you're making the payments twice. You're basically buying the property twice. But if that's something that works out for you, then go for it. The second way that it can be written up as is just flat out, we'll take the same number, $600 a month, and every penny goes right to the purchase of the property. $600 a month, so many months, after that, it's yours. And that's probably the simplest way. The next simplest way that, is the way we're doing it. And, I kind of like this idea, but the way it's broken up is the first 2 years of making payments is basically a down payment. You got a set payment, set down payment of it, and the first 2 years was broken up, and every payment would go towards that down payment. That $600, for instance, would go towards, I don't know, like 2 years would be, $15,000 or something like that. I'm not good at math right now, but once that $15,000 is paid up, then you can actually go into the real estate contract and just go from there. But what I think is really neat from this first 2 years, or however many years you guys agree to, that's literally treated like rent. If you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you can just walk away. No harm, no foul. You lose the money because it's rent. The owner will keep it, but you don't have to worry about a title company or anything like that. Don't have to worry about any paperwork. Just say, hey, we're done. We don't want to do this anymore, and you go get yourself an apartment or whatever. And then, of course, if you choose to keep it, then in our case, we have to let the owner of the property know, sign up the actual real estate contract instead of the lease contract or the monthly payment, the rent contract or whatever. We're going to be filling out the actual real estate contract. It's going to go through a title company, which I completely recommend. I almost think you have to go through a title company. Don't quote me on that though. But go through a title company. The remaining payments that we're going to be making is going to be going through an escrow company. They'll take care of any of the paperwork. They'll send the payment to the owner, to the landlord, and when all is said and done, the deed and the title gets transferred over to us. We're good to go. And actually that's the way that it all should be done, is with a title company. Like I said, I think it's all right. And so those are the 3 examples of different forms of land contracts, reasons why you would want it that way. Go ahead and put your questions down in the comments section. If you have any, I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time, keep kicking up dust.